do these in any order, but anyway, that's done. So what do you want to do?
I don't know, man. Let's just toss them in with the traditional intro and get into it. Welcome, everybody, to the Glaziar Gamble with Mychal Glaziar and Joe Rybolt. This is episode 31, and we are one away from Joe's favorite number, two away from my favorite number, and this is our Marvel/entertainment section. We got a good one for you today. Feel free to check out our sports section if you like sports, but we have a Norman Osborn theory. We have an MCU John Krasinski discussion. We have John Cena talk with Peacemaker and Marvel.
John Cena!
Yeah. We got Ironheart. We have Miss Marvel. A lot of Black Panther 2 stuff. Some Tessa Thompson news. Then we have Across the Spider-Verse, Moon Knight, which trailer reaction and discussion. We have actually good amount of Moon Knight stuff. Multiverse of Madness news. Disney Plus discussion, and then we have some miscellaneous news this week with Activision Blizzard, some LCS news for League of Legends, the Batman, TFT, and let the green M&M be a nasty little slut.
Snut. Snut, dude.
She'll make me snut.
Dude, she's so snutty.
Oh man, the green M&M makes me snut.
It's just a normal M&M before you put the nut in it.
Oh god, yeah. That's where the M&M minis come from. So let's do the first topic, which do you want to do your theories?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with
So we recently said Timothy Chalamet would be a great Harry Osborn.
Yep.
But that's how Harry Osborn always looks. Right? A clean cut, Caucasian male, wavy, curly hair.
Yeah.
Right. Do you remember back in the day, a couple podcasts ago, maybe 10 or so, maybe a little bit less, we discussed that Will Smith was in talks. Remember that? Remember that? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that he was only willing to take a role that had role. Yeah, he needed a bigger role that was in multiple movies.
Okay. Recently, fans have been tweeting Instagram for Jaden Smith to play Miles.
Yeah,
Jaden Smith is
that was the rumor.
Like late 20s.
I saw a rumor that Jaden Smith was playing a Marvel character, and everybody assumed it was Miles.
He tweeted a picture of him in a Spider-Man mask.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that.
Further these rumors.
Yep.
I don't think he can play Miles. And here's what I mean. He's 30 years old. Miles is like young teens.
He's supposed to be 14 or 15. Yep.
Yeah.
The MCU's version of Miles, I believe, is 14.
I don't think Jaden Smith would do that. But what if he is a variant or a different thing of Harry Osborn, and his dad, Will Smith, is Norman Osborn?
So would this be the MCU?
This would be the MCU's.
No Way Home made it sound as though there is no Osborn.
There's no Oscorp yet.
There's no Oscorp, so I guess there could be an Osborn.
There should be a Harry and Norman Osborn.
There should be,
right?
Yeah. I think that's better than Miles.
I think it's definitely better for Miles.
Out of all of those, I question Will Smith being Norman most. I think Jaden could probably play a Harry Osborn.
It'd be way different.
So
it would be way different. Norman would be way different. Harry would be way different.
Here would be this Harry Osborn.
No, we're not talking about the thing. It's Harry and Norman Osborn.
Jaden Smith would probably. So this Harry would most likely be interested in MJ, probably.
Maybe or Gwen Stacy.
I guess.
Or Felicia Hardy.
Because you could have him
about bringing in Felicia Hardy to be like the love interest.
Sure, like a secondary one.
Yeah.
You could have Harry come in and meet Zendaya's MJ in college.
At MIT.
Yeah, and then that's where he's introduced. So they do have an easy path to introduce Harry. I think
it'd be interesting because it'd be the father-son duo. I think Will Smith could do it.
Right, I think he could do it. It's just could he do as good of a job as others.
It'd be the role he was looking for, right? Like a bigger role.
See, but that's the thing. Yeah, would he be in multiple, or would he be killed off early for Harry?
I don't know. Would you rather have Jaden Smith as a hobgoblin, or would you rather have Ned Leeds as a hobgoblin?
I probably would rather have Ned Leeds as hobgoblin and then Jaden Smith as a new version of the Green Goblin.
Sure.
And maybe have Norman Osborn in this universe turn his son into the Green Goblin as opposed to turn himself into one.
Right. I mean, so the first one we had Green Goblin. Harry took the stuff. He was Hobgoblin, minor Green Goblin, whatever. Andrew Garfield's, we had the father die because he couldn't get the serum right, and then his son takes it and he's back and forth, between Green Goblin and himself. They'd have to do something different. I don't think they would kill off Norman Osborn because of the Dark Avengers line they could do with him in the future. But yeah, I kind of pieced this together because everyone's thinking, oh, he's gonna play Miles. And I'm like, Jaden Smith's like 30 years old. He's not 30. Jaden Smith?
Yeah.
You think? How old is he? Look it up.
23.
No.
He was born in 1998.
No.
I
swear he's been doing stuff forever.
He has. He's been doing stuff since he was a pre-10.
All right. Well, maybe, I don't know.
If Andrew Garfield can play a 17 or 18-year-old, Jaden Smith can play a 15-year-old.
I don't know if he'd want to do that, though. I don't know.
I think that makes sense. I like that theory. Like I said, my biggest issue is Will Smith. I would have the most questions about Will Smith. I think they both can do it. I think they both could play a good job. And I have nothing against them, but I don't really care to see Jaden Smith in a Marvel role.
Yeah.
But he's 23. The last time we saw him acting was with his dad, I think. And that wasn't a great movie. But you have to do bad movies, figure out what you do and don't like to become. So he might have grown as an actor. Now, he might be the best Green Goblin we've seen. My biggest question would be Will Smith. I think it would be interesting to do the Will is Norman, turns his son into Hobgoblin, or turns his son into Green Goblin, which would be Jaden.
To save his life, possibly, though?
Right. To save his life, potentially. Have Ned still be Hobgoblin, and maybe because Ned's going to MIT as well.
Right.
You could still have Jaden be interested in Zendaya's MJ. You could have Ned maybe look up to Green Goblin because he's friends with him at MIT and turn into Hobgoblin and almost be like a duo of Green Goblin and Hobgoblin.
Sure.
So you could do something like that. That would make sense. And then you have a 23-year-old Jaden playing a 20-year-old or 19-year-old as opposed to a 23-year-old Jaden playing 15-year-old.
Right. So what, you assume Tom Holland's can be 19 his next movie? Or Peter Parker?
He's supposed to be about 19. And so the other thing is this is a variant. This is an MCU variant. So this MCU variant of Miles doesn't have to be 15.
Right. That's true.
He could play an 18-year-old Miles. So I think it'd be interesting. I liked it. I like it. I think it's different. So I like it. So I told you I've been watching Shadow and Bone on Netflix.
Yes. Right.
There is a guy, I'm blanking on his name right now, but he...
is it to do with the cane?
Him. I think he would be an amazing villain. Yeah. Dr. Doom, I think he would play a good Doom or Goblin. I also thought...
I want to say he's young looking, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
However, his partner, the dude who has a gambling issue...
The guns, yeah.
Yeah. He is somebody I think would be able to play a great Green Goblin.
Sure.
There are different people, I guess. So maybe the image I have in mind is what's causing me to not like the idea of Will Smith and Jaden Smith. Maybe just that image is causing me to have issues with it. Honestly, they're both. Will Smith is a popular actor for a reason. Jaden Smith he's getting older, so he's probably going to be a better actor than what we've seen him in the past. So if Kevin Feige and Jon Favreau sign off on it, I'm for it. I've said that before. If they sign off and say yes, it's the right decision.
This is the right play, yeah.
Because they haven't made a bad one. So
yeah, I agree.
I like that. I think it's something that other people haven't thought of, and whenever we have an original theory on here, I like to support it. So still sticking with Marvel. We're going to go all through Marvel first. John Cena just came out with Peacemaker. That's not Marvel. That's DC. That's DC. However, with the success of Peacemaker, he has been going through a lot of interviews. Apparently, he had been turned down for multiple Marvel roles, including being set up for Cable and being one of the finalists for Cable before being turned down.
Yeah, it was Fox. So, we got to
Still Marvel.
Take that into consideration.
John Cena, turned down multiple times. He's a great actor, and I've heard nothing but good things about Peacemaker. I think the credit...
I saw a little clip where he's having an argument with an older man, and the other man's like, "You kill people, you're not a hero." And he's like, "I have to kill people." And then he's like, "Batman doesn't kill people." And John Cena turns around, he's like, "Cause Batman's a pussy."
I heard that one of the things was, "What are you famous for?" He's like, "Well, I'm famous for keeping the peace and also having an incredibly long penis." And I've all I heard about it is what I want comic book movies to be. It can be a little bit dark, but it's still really funny. It's kind of crass. It's for a young audience that's probably teenage and up. Teenagers have heard all this stuff before, so I'm fine with teenagers seeing some gore and swearing. It's sex, it's fine. They're gonna see it somewhere. They're gonna Google it when you're not home, so they might as well see it. So comic book movies are in shows I want to be more adult. So it sounds like something I want. We've mentioned it before. We've mentioned it in the past. We mentioned it before we even had a podcast. John Cena is somebody that he's like The Rock. He brings in viewers because people like him. We wanted him as the Thing. It was that John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, John Cena, Zac Efron.
John Cena or Seth Rogen, and then Liam Hemsworth.
I never wanted Seth Rogen as the Thing.
I think it'd be great.
But I would probably rather have Cena. Still,
I agree. You're gonna play someone who's a football player that gets taken on a mission.
Not a firefighter.
He's a football player.
I know, but in the original Fantastic, he's a firefighter.
Oh.
Anyway, I think they made a mistake not bringing in John Cena. Because I think the credit should go to James Gunn. Yes, John Cena deserves a ton of credit, but everything James Gunn has touched has been gold.
Right. Sure.
Jon Favreau, Kevin Feige, and James Gunn all working with Marvel is a big reason why Marvel is so successful.
Sure.
Marvel firing James Gunn because Disney was scared of Twitter, huge mistake. And now James Gunn realizes he has all the power. That's why he said, "Nope, we're doing Guardians at my pace.
Right.
I'm going to go back to Marvel,
Squad,
but I'm doing the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker first. DC hired me, and I'm helping them first."
Right.
And I think that is extremely smart. And James Gunn is somebody that you shouldn't.
And he still gets Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
And he still gets the holiday special and anything else in the future.
Right. And Adam Warlock went off or something.
Disney and Marvel should have probably listened to us, hired us. Always listen to us. Well, then the next thing was something that I was reading about. I was looking up some Ironheart news because I felt like it had been a while since I had heard about it.
Sure.
I saw on a couple different sources were talking about it. It was that the Ironheart villain is going to be a tech bro. For those you don't know, the tech bro persona is one of the most common, if not the most common villain in most movies, not just superhero movies. It's just a wide variety. Like the Winklevoss twins in Social Network are considered tech bro villains.
Okay.
So tech bros is a very common analogy or a very common label given to villains. So it's not necessarily there's no Marvel character villain called the Tech Bros.
Sure.
That's just the type of villain it'll be. A couple examples of that would be Agent Smith from The Matrix, as the most famous tech bro. And then the other most common one that is recent would be Samuel L. Jackson in the Kingsman movie, where he develops a microchip. It gives out free phone service and Wi-Fi to everyone.
Justin Hammer.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So a tech-based villain, which makes sense. Ironheart is going to be a
tech. Yeah.
Yeah. All a tech superhero. No abilities. All their ability comes from tech. We've talked about how what's his name's son is going to be
Obadiah Stane's
son or daughter Zeke is going to be the primary villain. Probably going to be a tech bro.
Sure.
We've heard it was going to be a tech bro, so Zeke's probably going to be there was potential that Zeke was going to be gender swapped to female. Calling Zeke a tech bro probably confirms Zeke will not be flipped. It's gender flipped.
Sure.
It will probably be just the head of the Obadiah Stane company, whatever.
Right. Once Obadiah Stane went to jail or whatever,
took over,
I don't even remember.
Started their own competing tech company, probably looking to create their own arc reactor, all this sort of junk.
Sure.
That's some news that I wanted to talk about with Ironheart. Tech bro, Zeke probably won't be gender swapped, and it's just a very common. I think it's playing it safe with a new character that they want to succeed. So they did a cliche villain. Next thing is Miss Marvel. So we have been very critical about Miss Marvel. We were, picking apart the gauntlets, not okay with her taking away humans, took a slightly like feminist standpoint as well, talking about how you took a strong, powerful girl with body issues and you gave her something. You took all that away from her and gave it to gauntlets.
Yeah.
Said that if you would have hired on somebody like Mindy Kaling in the first place, that mistake never would have happened. Well, then it was announced with all of this uproar that they were reshooting the entire show and that everybody basically understood.
Huge delay. It was supposed to come out this year, so if you say, or last year, so if you say that was supposed to happen in December, possibly.
It was supposed to be around Hawkeye.
It's delayed till like August, September is what people are thinking.
It's over a year since the original release date.
Yeah.
So then there was the COVID delays, but now this delay, which means they're not just like typical reshoots like they're doing with Moon Knight
or Morbius,
or Venom 2. These are like full on. We're gonna have to reshoot the entire show or major parts of the show to make sure she has her gauntlets are gone. Well, they just hired, I do not know exactly how to pronounce her name, but I believe it is Mehwish Hayat. And in 2019, she won the National Civil Award from the president of Pakistan. She's loved from the people and in the acting community. Unconfirmed role in the movie, unconfirmed character, but she's been added on during the reshoot. So they're adding new characters. They are revamping the whole show.
Good.
Extremely smart. This would have been a great time to bring on Mindy Kaling as an advisor, but just want to throw that out there again, especially because she's very funny. And anyway,
I be a great time to bring in Chloe Bennett for a cameo. But
same with that as well. I was excited to hear that news because this means they're again adding more Middle Eastern representation, which she's supposed to bring in that into the MCU. She's supposed to bring in more Middle Eastern representation. She is a strong female actress from Pakistan.
Yeah, she's Pakistani American.
So I think this is a super huge move. I really don't care what role she's playing. This is all good news to me. This means that they're taking the reshoot seriously. They're taking what the fans had to say seriously. And it's not just like the fans were whining and this was just a meh complaint. Like this is if you released it the way you were originally going to release it, this was going to bomb. And this was going to bomb in a Captain Marvel level way where it might make you a lot of money, but people are extremely unhappy with it and don't want to continue supporting that. Like people are not happy. Like you have to bring in potential X-Men rumors for the Marvels, change the name to the Marvels.
Yeah, you got to bring in some help. But I also think
Well, as Miss Marvel, if you would have released it that original way, might have needed that help again.
Yeah, and if you would have released Miss Marvel with her gauntlets in that same movie, it wouldn't have the same impact.
Agreed. So all good news to me. All good news. Now we have a lot of Black Panther news. Black Panther 2. Good. Like I don't think anything is bad. So first thing, just want to hit it quick. We've mentioned in the past Letitia Wright with her vaccination status and being in Paris, whether or not they would have to
able to travel.
Now she is confirmed there and shooting. So
back on set.
She either got some sort of stipulation where she didn't have to follow those rules. She got vaccinated. Doesn't matter. She's there shooting.
She walked. I don't know.
Right. She's there. They are not reshooting. They're not taking her out. She's still going to be the primary protagonist. The other big thing that I wanted to happen is Winston Duke's M'Baku is going to have an expanded role.
Do you think this was because of the Letitia Wright things?
I think they probably they wrote in a bigger role for him just in case. Probably liked the way it looked, and then when Letitia came in, they were like, "We can do both." So I think it was an expanded role that they don't need to make him the primary, but they were probably like, "Oh, well, Winston, super good.
Right?
Let's have him be more
and
prevalent."
If you think about it, Nokia and the mother, I forget her name,
like the little brick phones. Nokia.
Yeah, Nokia, and then the mother and Shuri and General Everett Ross. Right? Yeah, they were willing to give M'Baku the last heart-shaped herb to stand up to Killmonger. They were willing to, but they ultimately gave it back to T'Challa.
But yeah, so Winston Duke expanded role, awesome. The other things were involved two other characters that are being introduced for the first time in the MCU.
I don't know if I believe one of them, but
I know the one that you're talking about, and I would agree. So Namor, his story will apparently be introduced in a similar way that Black Panther was introduced in Civil War. So the story, even if he is the primary villain, it doesn't sound like he's going to be a heavy focus. He'll have effect on the primary story. but that he is
there
not
will-
going to be the focus.
So there will be a problem at hand that will be caused to Namor's Atlantis,
Which we know what that
assuming
is because
the
we've heard it.
earthquake
The
and or the Eternals Tiamat emerging from the sea.
Which might
Right.
be the same thing.
Right. That being said, there is a quarrel between, and there's a bad thing happening for two tribes, the Atlanteans and the Wakandans, to band together to beat said thing, even though they might have a quarrel themselves.
It's probably Aquaman. But yeah, so I think that's good news. I think having Namor be too prevalent when you're trying to not replace T'Challa, but with Chadwick's death, the story probably changed immensely. Trying to bring Namor in and like
he's still got to be a bad guy though. Like he
has to start out a bad guy.
He's not a good guy. He's an anti-hero until he's a bad guy until he's a good guy, and then even more so, it's not like I'm still gonna do what's right for my people, rather
including
than
in the
right
comic books, he is one of the defenders of the multiverse.
Yeah, he's part of the Illuminati.
Right. So he does have to start out bad. Just like in my opinion, the best versions of Spider-Man start out with killing like Tobey Maguire's. I think that's smart. I think what they're doing there is smart. The last thing that they introduced, last person, is Doctor Doom apparently will have a small role in Black Panther 2 if he appears.
Yeah.
Why say if he appears if he's not going to show up? Why even talk about this? Because it's like, why even mention that unless he actually does show up?
I don't know. And would he appear as Doctor Doom? Or would he appear as Victor Von Doom?
He would be You would think he'd be Victor Von Doom, but Doctor Doom would be very attracted to vibranium.
But like the only thing that I could see happening is if they introduce the country of Latveria. They have Wakanda, they're introducing Atlantis, and if all of a sudden this spawns a country out of nowhere that is finally speaking up, and that country is Latveria.
That's a lot to
Dr.
introduce
Doom.
to say it's only a very small role, though.
Yeah, but like if they, I don't know, like if Wakanda's doing another like say they're doing another like what's the global US global thing?
UN summit?
Yeah, something like that. The United Nations, yeah, UN. So they're doing that, and Namor is giving a speech, or like giving his speech, like we are like we're not the enemy, blah blah blah. We've been down there for so long, trapped, like
right.
So right, and Namor's doing his little speech, and then all of a sudden it goes to like a panel of someone asking it's Latveria, and someone just lifts up their pen, and all you see is like the top half, and they're just like twisting a pen or something, and it's Latveria, and then it says like Von Doom or something like that.
Right.
And it's like, what does the thing of Atlantis know about Vibranium or something like that? You know what
sure.
I mean? I can see something like that happening.
I wrote down if it really is such a small role, the way they made it sound, it would be something like Blade, where in Eternals, where all you do is hear the voice. So it doesn't even have to be the person that they have playing Doom. You can just hear the voice mention it.
And it says Dr. Doom. I don't know. I still don't believe that either. So
I don't. So we both are on the same page there. I think they brought this up to build hype. I don't think Victor Von Doom's showing up.
Yeah.
If Von Doom, unless he is supposed to be the primary villain of a Black Panther 3, it just doesn't. Yeah. It just makes no sense.
I don't.
We are officially claiming that is a debunked rumor of zero validity.
Yeah, I mean, like he's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a Victor Von Doom or a Doctor Doom thing. I think it would be like a Latveria tease.
Agreed.
That's it.
For sure.
That's it.
I would agree. So, well, that is it for our Black Panther news. We had some big stuff there, and I think, again, like I said, all positive news. The next movie we can talk about is Thor Love and Thunder, which also is another one.
I saw
it. Too much?
It was supposed to, the trailer's supposed to be during the Super Bowl for that.
Really, really pushing the movie trailers partnered with football. They understand that people that like sports also are about that age that still want to watch Thor Love and Thunder. This isn't anything like about the movie itself, kind of. Tessa Thompson, in an interview, came out talking about Valkyrie's powers and how she thinks her powers are a little weird, how she carries people in the afterlife into Valhalla. But not only that, but she can take over the bodies of people, which, for those who don't know, that is her powers in the comics. They just haven't shown that yet in the movies.
Right.
that she can actually like take people over as their spirits and that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
the only thing we've seen about Valhalla is I don't know if we've seen anything about Valhalla. We've seen some about the hell.
Yeah.
Where Hela just mutilated all the Valkyries, but
yeah, Valhalla is the positive version, and she redacted that statement. She took it back, saying, "Oh, I was talking about her powers in the comic books. I wasn't talking about the next movie, Love and Thunder. I was talking about how Valkyrie's powers are weird to me, and that it was about. I thought they were weird reading about them, not filming."
Right.
I think that was the Kevin Feige sniper sort of thing going on.
Right.
You need to come out making a statement that's not true, because immediately as soon as I saw that interview, I retweeted it with the quote that said "Rest in peace, Thor," because that is absolutely Tessa Thompson saying she's taking Thor to Valhalla, takes his powers most likely, or moves on with Jane.
Or can she Thor. Or Beta Ray Bill too?
Right. I definitely think that was her not doing it on purpose, but I think that was a confirmation that Thor is probably dying in Love and Thunder.
Or the God Butcher, he's got to stay true to his name, you know?
Yeah.
And
they're not going to have him kill Jane Foster. They're not going to have him kill
Valkyrie. Who's the next phase. Yeah. So
they're not going to have him kill Loki. They're just
Loki's dead. Sif still alive?
Well, Loki's not dead though.
Loki's not dead. Well, it's weird.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that was an oopsie. And I think that was somebody at Marvel, probably representation, saying if you leave the statement as is, it kind of violates the NCA.
The smart nerds are going to pick it apart. So,
which, smart nerd immediately in myself. Rest in peace, Thor. So,
right.
I'll take a smart nerd. I'll accept that title.
It's better than most. Better than other things you've been called.
Yeah, at least 30. The next thing, since that was it for the Love and Thunder news, that was all we got. Across the Spider-Verse is a part 1, part 2 movie. We'd mentioned it, how it's going to be Spider-Man 2099. Seems like it's going to be a major role. Oscar Isaac, that sort of stuff.
More on him later.
Yes. So I would consider myself an artist. I love to paint, draw. Charcoal is my preferred medium. My favorite thing about Into the Spider-Verse was the art style, the comic book style. That's also why I've loved Arcane. And there's a few things that just love it. Love the art. Apparently, when they're traveling in across the Spider-Verse, every dimension is going to be a different art style. So similar to how each different Spider-Man was kind of portrayed differently in the first one.
Yep.
It sounds as though those all, instead of them coming into this artworks world and being different, they're going to be going there and that entire world. So Spider Noir is going to be black and white art with probably grainier texture as opposed to comic book lines.
Sure.
Spider-Ham will probably be more animation comic book,
like Looney Tunes.
Yeah. So every single dimension is going to have a different art style. And I think that is amazing. And that was the head writer or director, one of the big wigs said that, and they said that they really wanted to explore the dimension style. So it's going to be insane.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
One of the most hyped sequels of a Marvel movie for me personally that I've seen. Just gonna be so good. We have a lot of Moon Knight news. Do the sad part one. We'll do the sad part first. So put my smile away. Gaspard Ulleil. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. There's a lot of L's that is difficult for my tongue.
Ulleil.
But he is
Gaspard Ulleil.
He's a French actor, so my French knowledge would tell me Ulleil. Well, anyway, he will be Midnight Man in Moon Knight. So it's already filmed. He will be Midnight Man. He just died in a ski accident. I didn't look into the details. All I saw, ski accident. He did pass away. It was sudden. He was only 37 years old. So I'm not sure if they were planning on putting him in more sequels to Moon Knight or a movie eventually if they do one. For those who don't know, Midnight Man is not a huge, yes, he is he is one of the primary villains of Moon Knight or counterparts, but he's not necessarily a huge story. He doesn't have any backstory on when he's introduced in the comics, he doesn't have a backstory. He's introduced doing a heist at exactly midnight, stealing jewels. the kid character Midnight Man steals things purely to own them. He doesn't do it for money. He doesn't resell them. He likes to own whatever he steals,
Sure.
and as like pride, and he likes the look. He then is stopped on a second heist by Moon Knight, to which he ends up in the sewer. Moon Knight assumes he died, and the gases and chemicals in the sewer, as he's like trapped, getting hit by the water and like knocked out unconscious, deforms his face and like makes him look deformed. And then when he gets back to his home, the police have taken all of his jewels, everything he's ever stolen. So then he goes back to the sewer and decides to start collecting trash instead of treasures, and lives in the sewer. Tries to fight Moon Knight again and is defeated, and is again swept away via water, to which he then dedicates his life to trying to find his son, reconnects with his son, teaches his son everything he knows, but then asks his son not to become a villain. His son then tries to partner with Moon Knight and become like a sidekick of Moon Knight, but doesn't work out, and his son ends up becoming a villain against Moon Knight.
Sure.
So that's Midnight Man's like role with Moon Knight. So it is something that he might have been able to develop that character further and have like a son character, a mentor, and all that. But that is not going. They will probably have to do rewriting here.
So Dr. Connors would be proud, is what you're saying. So the Lizard would be proud because he could just turn that guy into a lizard via the sewers.
Yeah.
And he'd be proud.
Yeah.
Okay, that is very sad news. I more so was looking at Ethan Hawke's character as the main villain rather than Gaspard's, but it's still a sad thing, and condolences to.
Especially something so sudden.
Yeah. Obviously it's a freak accident,
Right.
Like
this would be just as sad with anyone else, because he's just too young. He was I'm sure he was enjoying himself skiing. Yeah. It's something that you don't expect to happen. It's one of those exact reason why my parents always say, you tell somebody you love them no matter where they're going. That should be the last thing you tell them. Like, all right, love you, see you later. Just because you never know. Like, somebody might have known he was going skiing. You would never expected this to happen. So, extremely sad. And I really hope that his family is okay, justice. And the show does some justice. They'll probably do in memoriam in one of the episodes. Continuing with Moon Knight now, and away from the sadness, the debut you said is going to have 2 episodes.
Yeah, so I think the debut is going to have 2 episodes when it comes out.
Okay, so this is not confirmed. You just assume. This
is what I believe, because if it doesn't, it is going to go over May 4th. Is when the release date is going to happen. There's another huge project, probably the biggest project coming out on Disney Plus this year, Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And everyone thinks they're going to debut it on Star Wars Day, which is May 4th. My thought process is that if they do the 6 episodes like they're going to do, it would overlap with May 4th. But if they release 2 episodes, then it would come out the week before May 4th. They would have Kenobi on May 4th. And then they would have Doctor Strange on that Friday.
Oh, so bang, bang, bang.
So bang, bang,
as opposed
bang.
To overlapping, which you don't want. And so is Kenobi, so the 4th, is that a Friday or is that?
I want to say it's a Wednesday. Don't they do that on Wednesdays?
Right, that's the thing, is like they want all their shows coming on Wednesdays. So it would all depend on what day of the week May 4th is.
All right, so yeah, May 4th is a Wednesday.
Okay, so yeah, they will probably do a 2-episode premiere then to make sure they don't overlap with May 4th.
Yeah. So that's it. Within 10 days, we're going to get the Moon Knight finale, the Kenobi series, and Multiverse of Madness. That's going to be
good news for us.
That's a crazy week, man. They're gonna kill it.
Yeah,
that week.
Marvel's going to be rolling in the dough. Those first quarter sales.
Yeah, crazy.
Well, the last thing I want to talk about was the Moon Knight trailer came out. All jokes aside, all sarcasm aside, I had to wear underwear made out of duct tape to keep that thing down.
Yeah. God. This was very bold of me. One of my WoW buddies messaged me. He's like, he doesn't have anyone to talk to Marvel with, so he always sends me random questions or random, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And I was like, basically I ended with, this has the potential to be the best Disney Plus show.
It definitely looks already to be like it's going to be one of the most developed. When we watched What If, my favorite episode was the number 4 with
Right.
Sorcerer Supreme Strange.
Yep.
Because you felt darkness, sadness, comedy, all of it, all the emotions shot insanely well. Some people might say, "Oh, you sound like a hoity-toity reviewer," whatever. It's true.
We are. That's what we're supposed to do.
Right. Like in terms of it was like cinema in an episode of a show.
Sure.
It was absolutely incredible. This trailer makes you feel trapped. You feel trapped, confused, scared, just in a minute-long trailer. How are 6 episodes going to treat you?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to have a jump
The
scare.
first couple are going to be a little slow, right? Because it's like you got 4 personalities you have to like develop in one character, right? Like you've got Mark Spector, you got Jake Lockley, and you got Stephen Grant, and then you also have Khonshu / Moon Knight taking his toll on him. So,
and we saw Khonshu.
Yeah. God,
Khonshu looks so good.
It's so good. You get the creepy things where like you can tell that he doesn't know what's going on. That's what he shouldn't know what's going on. He's got 3 different personalities. So,
and it sounds like Steven is the primary one instead of Mark Spector.
I always thought Mark Spector was. So
it's just like all comics. There's different variants of the comics, like different variations. Mark Spector is the famous one.
Yeah, the rich one.
Definitely, yeah. Like that's the one that like when fans who don't know much about Moon Knight or even the fans that read Moon Knight, they always think of Mark Spector. So
right.
That's the one people expected to be the primary one, but it sounds like Steven's going to be the main one.
Yeah. Which
I'm fine with. This is also a good opportunity to maybe say that they're only going to do like 2 personalities, 2 personalities. Obviously, there's going to be at least 3, but they might do 5. Like you never know.
Right.
And there might not. Also, because dissociative identity disorder, there isn't necessarily like, yes, there's a primary one, but a lot of people function as if there is not a primary one. So they might not treat Steven like the primary. You might be Mark for an episode.
Right.
Steven,
like obviously he got a phone call and the lady knew him as Mark. Yeah. So like how much of his time is he actually spent as Mark?
Right.
Because he doesn't seem to recall that time.
Right. And he doesn't seem to recall any time involving each personality, which is also
and we don't see
common.
Jake Lockley anywhere either. So where he's like a down to earth taxi driver, like
we saw a quick clip of Ethan Hawke.
Yep.
Quick clip there. We saw
he's like, you have chaos in you.
Right. Yeah. And it looks like he's doing he looks like he's at a cult. Like he's leading a cult.
Yeah, very cult like. Yeah.
There's also a quick fight scene where Moon Knight is beating the crap out of somebody on the ground, and you're hearing you're almost hearing the splurts that we talked about with Batman.
Good splurts.
Yeah, good splurts.
But like Negan hitting Abraham kind of splurts, like
right. Yeah, just solid splurts. There was that was also quick. A lot of it was like a quick taste of all the different variations of the show, except for Jake. And we don't know who the woman on the phone was. We don't know exactly what Ethan Hawke's role will be. Or how in depth
the one scene where he's like, Khonshu's like walking down the hallway at him. That's so creepy.
That was terrifying.
Yeah. And then the one where he's like looking in the mirror and he turns over and like there's reflections in the mirror and then he like turns and goes forward and the people are still staring sideways and then they catch up with him.
The reflection's still looking at him.
Yeah,
man. I think this is going to be. I do not think it's hyperbole to say that this could be one of the best Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
Just not just Disney Plus Marvel shows. Disney Plus shows.
Him like suiting up to
the wraps,
the mummy wraps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not how it is in the comics.
So he has like
it's a suit of armor in the comics.
Yeah.
So that isn't a change that they've made. I saw some people complaining about that, saying that this is just an excuse to ramp up the budget. And I was like, or this is something new and original that they can add to make it sick. Like, yeah, I mean, wouldn't it also adds the opportunity for him to maybe change quickly? So
and he can only do that as Mark Spector, I'm pretty sure, because that's who Moon Knight is Mark Spector. So
right. So if maybe when Mark needs to disappear quickly, now instead of having to take off armor and hide it, you just slurp it in. So I like that change a lot, personally. I wish it was slightly brighter white, but it does look like they did brighten it up since the leaks.
Yeah, I mean the moon is not like yeah, I know what you mean. Like the comics, it's a bright white.
It's like your shirt. It is.
Yeah.
It's like white on white with some silver in there.
Sure.
But this has been my complaint with every Marvel product. So it's like people. I'm gonna sound like a broken record. Anytime you listen to me talk about a Marvel show, I want the costume to be brighter. I want Fantastic Four to be bright blue. I want the X-Men to go back to blue and yellow.
Yeah.
I just like the bright. And when I think comics, I think bright colors and cool looking patterns.
Right.
Like
I mean, that's why people are upset
purple.
with Riddler, because they're not getting that bright green with question marks, So
right.
I'm okay with it. I think they've killed their costume so far.
I think it looks cool.
Like you can't say like Scarlet Witch doesn't look good. Captain
the revamped one looks better though.
Yeah, Captain America, like Falcon, looks amazing. Like that was one of the highlights.
God, yeah.
Like easily the best costume right there. May not have been the best Disney Plus series, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's the best costume. So U.S. Agents was good. Like I liked U.S. Agents too. Baron Zemos, I like that. So I mean, I can't.
I think they've done a great job. If I was gonna be picky, because it's hard to find something bad about this already. If I were to be picky, I just want brighter.
Right, and they had I think they may have dulled it down a little bit to make the eyes pop too.
That not only does that, but it looks worn and abused and used. Bright white, you don't want it to look
could
clean.
be Khonshu picking his Moon Knight over the years, possibly.
Right,
maybe.
exactly. So I think that it makes total sense. I can see the artistic reasons for it. You're just, and it can't be the exact same thing as the comic, so it's okay. Right. It's just me being a little bitch about it. So I think it looks great, and I'm so excited for it. So watch it with us. Otherwise, we will be talking about it each week, each episode when it does come out. If you don't want to see, the day after. So if you don't want to see spoilers, you're gonna have to watch the show or skip those sections of our podcast. But don't, because it really helps our analytics. The next thing is Multiverse of Madness. We have a couple things. The super real cast list leaked. I don't know. You saw it talked about it.
I saw it.
20.
Yeah, about 20 of them. I mean, you could go through. I mean, I'd love to see what you think too.
So there's Benedict Cumberbatch as the Three Stranges, Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch.
You have this? You have it up?
Yeah, I have it up. America Chavez. We have Benedict Wong. We got Mordo. We have
all those. I believe all these they're in the movie. We've seen them.
Peter Houghton as Doctor Strange.
There's already the three. I don't know why we need a fourth one.
Agreed.
Considering also Joaquin Phoenix was one who tried out for Doctor Strange. So if anything, I would see him as a variant Doctor Strange. But
Clyde Kusatsu as another Wong. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought in another Wong, because I mean they have to bring other multiverses in. Rachel McAdams as Christine Palmer.
Yep, she could come back.
Anne-Marie Martin as Clea Lake.
I don't know if Clea's going to debut. Like we said, there's going to be a lot of characters. Are you going to want someone to be a staple in the Doctor Strange franchise to debut and take her away from her story?
This one was virtually confirmed, but not this actor, with Ben Affleck as Daredevil, which I mentioned and we mentioned in our Defender Strange theory video. I think it would be an awesome time, because Defender Strange's multiverse can be a perfect time for all these fan casts people, all these throwaway people.
Also, what was the last one you said?
The Clea.
Clea could appear in Ant-Man. That is very possible for her to appear in Ant-Man, because she's like, I think they're doing multiverses with that too. That's going to affect it. Like, so I think Clea could show up there too.
Up to this point was when I was like, most of these, I can believe it, right? They're either confirmed already or, we talked about it. Like, Ben Affleck is probably the biggest stretch, but so far all these are believable. Doctor Strange, the new Strange, I can see why they would do it.
Sure.
This is when they started losing me. Henry Cavill as Hyperion.
Yeah, that one. That was the one where I was like, no.
That was the first one. I was like, nope. Then it was.
You're not gonna give him just a Superman clone to come in. You know what I mean? I don't know. So if he was gonna be someone, in the MCU that was Superman like, I would love to see him as Sentry.
Right.
Even that, but
Sentry would be sick.
Yeah, Sentry could,
especially with World War Hulk coming through.
There was a TikTok I saw. It was like 4 people. He's like, who are you beating me with? And it was like World War Hulk, Wolverine, Phoenix, and someone else, Silver Surfer. And I was like, my first thing that came up was like, well, Sentry would be on my list.
Sentry would have to be.
Then I was like, Galactus, probably Thanos,
Scarlet Witch,
you know. So,
but anyway, then it was the original Fantastic Four members with Chris Evans, Jessica Alba, Eoin Gruffudd.
I heard a Jessica Alba thing. I was listening to. It was. Do you know the dude from Supernatural?
You mentioned it before.
The dude from Supernatural. I forget his name. I'm blanking on his name. The one that's in The Boys. The new one coming in.
Yeah.
The Boys.
Yep. Go ahead.
He was doing a movie or a show. He was doing it with Jessica Alba, like filming it with Jessica Alba. He gets there and he just shows up, and Jessica Alba says something along the lines of, "Oh great, here comes like a pretty boy that's entitled," or something like that. He's just super taken back. He's like, what did I do? I'm here to like film or whatever. And so apparently Jessica Alba was very rude to him on set.
And that's
my first celebrity crush. That hurts.
That doesn't surprise me. Like it's sad, but it's not surprising. I mean, I've heard a million times, don't meet any celebrities that you like if you can avoid it, because you'll be shocked the way they are as people. I think there's certain celebrities that I would still feel fine meeting, I think, and we probably get along. I think the majority are people that probably want to stay away from.
Sure.
So it doesn't surprise me. But anyway, I can believe the Fantastic Four people. I can believe that, especially because I want Chris Evans as Human Torch to show up, and then be like Cap, like you mentioned. Yeah. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
I can believe that one.
Rowan Blanchard as X-23. I don't know why, but okay. Sophie Turner as Jean Grey.
Please no.
Nope, that was not a big enough movie for them to bring her back. Ian McKellen as Magneto. I think both Magnetos could potentially show up. If the X-Men, if the mutants show up, then I can believe some of these. Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy as Charles Xavier. I can see.
We saw the concept art, and it looked like it was a bald-headed Professor X. So, like, right. I can see that.
So I could see that.
And for our Defender Strange Illuminati theory, we have to say that's right. So
agreed. Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique. I don't believe
she wouldn't do that again.
January Jones as Emma Frost.
Same chick, right?
Yeah, she's the one from First Class.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't think they would bring her back.
If Kevin Bacon made an appearance, that'd be great.
Nicholas Holt's Beast as opposed to Kelsey Grammer's Beast.
Yeah, it depends what Professor X shows up.
Yeah. Halle Berry as Storm.
I don't know.
I don't think so. Allison Court as Jubilee. Why?
No, not a big enough character. They recasted Jubilee like 6 times throughout the franchise.
Lenore Zahn as Rogue, which is the younger one, so no. Chris Potter as Gambit and Tony Daniels as Gambit. No. Out of those, you really don't bring back what's his name, the dude from Friday Night Lights, and John Carter.
Taylor Kish.
Thank you, Taylor Kish. That's the Gambit I want to see.
Or Channing Tatum, who was rumored to play Gambit all those times.
He was supposed to. I believe that movie was started and canceled.
Yeah, but either of those two
make way more sense. I don't believe those. Evan Peters. This one is where I almost stopped reading.
Evan Peters? As 3 different people?
Is with the fact that he is credited as Ralph Boner is where I was like, I don't think they would bring.
Yeah, I don't think he'd show up as Ralph Boner. I could see him as Quicksilver from the other universe, because you never see Wanda from that universe.
Exactly. I could believe him as Quicksilver, but the fact that they put him in and credited him as Ralph Boner makes me think it's fake.
Yeah, but if you never see Wanda in that universe. So Wanda could look exactly like our Wanda in that universe.
Right.
So he could show up and be like, Wanda? Right? Like, and then just get yipped out of there.
This one was virtually confirmed, so I believe this one, but Aaron Taylor-Johnson is Pietro. They said that she's going to go through a huge mental breakdown with him. Yeah. So I believe that. Vision is Paul Bettany as Vision, yeah. Catherine Hahn as Agnes. I can believe that. I don't know why they would bring her back that quickly.
Yeah.
But that does push forward to her spin-off. Monica Rambeau, Teyana Paris, and she's also credited as Captain Marvel.
They're just saying all those people that were in the Wanda show are going to be in it.
I don't think she would go by Captain Marvel, though. She would go by... Yeah, so... Yeah. Another reason why, like, this is somebody who didn't do their homework and just put this there. Jimmy Woo, I can see that. This one, Larry Daly, Ben Stiller as Larry Daly from Night at the Museum. Larry Daly, Ben Stiller. Why would they bring a night at the museum? Like, oh, unless it's a Disney doing this whole look at us, look at all the products we own, just like Wreck-It Ralph 2. Look at us.
Look at us.
I don't. That was the one where that was the one that I was like,
there's a lot of them that you're like, what the hell?
Right. So it was so far the biggest WTFs.
Hyperion
was Henry Cavill, Evan Peters, and Ben Stiller for me. Then it was Kat Dennings as Darcy Lewis. Yeah, if you can see Jimmy Woo, you can see, but all the people from WandaVision, I guess, like, are believable.
See, I don't believe any of that. Like, I don't like. It doesn't make that like that. It doesn't make sense. The
only reason it makes sense is because of WandaVision. Otherwise, this is supposed to be about Wanda and Strange.
Yeah, but I don't. Any of those.
I agree. I think it's weird. Tom Holland, or no, that was farther down. Julian Hill, Billy Maximoff, and Jeff Klein as Tommy Maximoff.
That one, I believe those two.
Debbie Ryan as Jessie Prescott.
Don't know who that is.
Oh my gosh, it's a Disney show, Disney Channel show. That's why we don't know.
Yeah,
it's from the TV show, from the Disney Channel show Jessie.
God, okay, that makes sense. She'll be in there.
Again, dumb as hell. Anyway, Tom Holland as Peter Parker. I can see that one.
As who?
Spider-Man. Sorry.
Okay.
Sabrina Carpenter as Gwen Stacy.
Sabrina Carpenter is very popular. She looks like Gwen Stacy too.
So this would be introducing her as the new Gwen Stacy?
Yeah.
I don't think they would do that.
Gwen Stacy.
This is not a Spider-Man movie. They wouldn't introduce that. Unless they're saying she's not the permanent Gwen Stacy. Like, maybe she's the new Gwen Stacy for Andrew Garfield. I still don't think they would introduce that in a Multiverse of Madness movie. Dove Cameron as Spider-Gwen, which I think I don't understand. I don't think they would introduce any new Spider-Man characters in this movie.
They're just because, like, these are all the things tied to Doctor Strange, so they're just putting names on everything. It just doesn't.
Then it's Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, Leonardo DiCaprio as Spider-Man. So all three of them.
I know that someone wanted to do a Leonardo DiCaprio movie back in the day, and it was when he was young, he wanted to be Spider-Man, and they were gonna have it rated R.
So I still don't. Maybe including
him, including a sex scene where he webs Mary Jane to the bed. I remember reading this somewhere.
Okay, well,
graphic.
That is more believable than any of the Disney Channel, Disney show stuff. Like, I still don't think they're gonna. Maybe they'll introduce a different version of Spider-Man. I just don't see any of this happening. They kind of went away with that at the end of No Way Home, so I don't know why they would bring this back. Tom Cruise's Iron Man, that was part of our Defender Strange one, so we have to believe that one. Edward Norton Hulk, and then Lou Ferrigno's Hulk. So believable, but Eric Bana was the one that was rumored.
Yeah, and Edward Norton is technically our same MCU.
Lou Ferrigno's like 70. Wouldn't they rather have Eric Bana? 70 exactly.
Nice.
So, like, I think they would bring in.
Yeah, and Eric Edward Bana Norton is our Hulk. Like Mark Ruffalo is Edward Norton.
And then last is Mahershala Ali as Blade. That is one of those ones I do believe, but I don't think it's going to happen. I would believe it, but Blade seems like one of those ones they're putting in everything because they want you to know who he is and like he's supposed to be in Moon Knight. He was in Eternals. He's going to be in Morbius, or potentially we don't know. But like it sounds like they want to put him in everything, so that one makes sense. I just don't think that one's going to happen. So that was the entire list of leaked, confirmed leak. Definitely not fake. Super not fake. So I don't believe in it.
Did you see the one where you didn't read Goku on there?
Oh,
Goku's gonna show up.
Yeah,
and
Goku, Shrek, Donkey Kong, Chris Pratt's Mario, and Chris Pratt's Garfield, and Chris Pratt's Star-Lord,
and Chris Pratt from Parks and Rec,
and Chris Pratt from Jurassic World. Yeah. Well, there was that rumor that Jurassic World's gonna cross over with Marvel. And so it's gonna be all the Chris Pratt characters.
Well, Star Wars exists in the Marvel universe, I guess. Technically, the shows do, movies do.
So I think all of those are gonna be real and in there. You had another Multiverse of Madness one I removed from the.
Yeah. So there's rumors that John Krasinski is going to show up as a variant Mr. Fantastic in Multiverse of Madness.
So not our MCU Fantastic.
Well, here's the thing. He is said to be a variant Mr. Fantastic from another world, but then they are also supposed to they're supposed to reveal the actual Reed Richards in our universe.
Okay.
Whether it is the same, whether it is John Krasinski again,
kind of sticking with the fan casted people, the previous people all meeting up with the current versions.
Right.
Like, we're gonna see,
which we also said that
was in the Defender Strange theory.
Yeah, they also said that he's gonna try to seek out the people
to create his Illuminati.
We may get teased with John. We may get our John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, and it's going to be amazing. And then we'll be let down while he's said that I'm only a variant. I don't exist in your world. But then he's going to exist in our world. Maybe
I think we're going to get some good amount of teases in this movie.
Yeah. And so maybe we get the variant Strange where he's got all clean shaven, and then we get back to our world and he's got the scruff, maybe, or vice versa.
I guess we'll find out. So yeah, I don't believe a lot of those on that list. I wouldn't be surprised to see John Krasinski, especially if part of our Defender Strange theory was that Chris Evans comes in as Fantastic Four. See that, like, the original Fantastic Four show up, and then we want to seek out our Reed Richards, which then we might see other versions of Reed Richards. So I could see all of it. I think this is the most we're gonna.
So there's supposed to be more superheroes in this movie than Endgame, possibly.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, so they're throwing out Larry Daly and Donkey Kong and Chris Pratt as everything because they're gonna give you. So in that list, 30 of them might be right. It might actually be happening, but they're gonna keep, like, Disney probably leaked that themselves.
Right.
They're gonna leak out 200 more before this happens, and so we're gonna know every single hero that's in it. But we're not going to know which ones because they're just basically going to list them all.
Sure.
And I think that's just the plan. Because there's so many, they're just going to leak everything.
Got it.
That's just what I think. The last bit of Marvel news we have is Secret Invasion. And it says, and we said that potentially will still be on Disney+. We discussed this last week, how some of these movies that are coming out, we want to see Avatar 2, Endgame, like, we don't want to see those on Disney+. We want to see those on the theater and appreciate them on a huge screen.
It's supposed to be a series, though, right?
Secret Invasion?
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be a movie.
I don't know.
Well, it's supposed to still premiere on Disney+, which I don't think that would be news if it was going to be a series. And it's one of those movies that it might not be, you don't have to necessarily see it. And it says, like, it'll still have premiere access on it. So I think that was interesting. We talked about it last week, and all of a sudden here's another thing that comes out.
Sure.
They still are considering, even though movies are coming back to theater basically permanently, they are still considering premiere access on some of these.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's jump into our miscellaneous section. First thing, big news, gaming news,
great news.
Activision Blizzard, we brought them up before, wondering what's going to happen. The slowest thing, all these things are going to delay, blah, 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 blah. Microsoft has purchased them for so close to $69 billion.
Let's round up.
Let's round up to $69 billion in straight cash, homie. Oh, yeah. Bought it it was a full cash purchase.
Yeah. Just so happens that Sony prices dropped 13% that day, and then Xbox also released a statement that said we have a good relationship with Sony, so we will continue to release Call of Duty for Sony players as well.
Right.
So,
yep. They want that to keep that relationship. So
Diablo, I'm sure, does too. Diablo's one of those console ones.
Well, their whole thing with Game Pass and making everything available on PC was they want the players to have. They don't want the players to be restricted. They want players to have the opportunity to play most games. So if they want to keep that mentality, most of these are still going to be available for PlayStation. So yeah, I think that's amazing news. It sounds like the CEO is eventually going to be replaced. And
once the deal's done, yeah.
Once the deal is done. But yeah, he stuck it. He's the only person that stuck it out, but he stuck it out all the way up to the end.
Yeah. Everyone wanted him gone because then they were like, that's when something can actually happen.
And it sounds like that was part of the stipulation, is that he needed to be he needed to agree to step down because he didn't want to be fired. He wanted to step down. So he needed to agree to step down. So that happened. Amazing news. We mentioned Game Pass, PC, sticking with PC gaming news. LCS just happened first week. TSM had to play
the lock-in tournament. Tournament. So it's not like official LCS spring split, but
TSM had to play their academy team because of COVID.
COVID and visa issues, I think.
And speaking of visa issues, Team Liquid is having some issues, and Bjergsen is going to be playing on Team Liquid Academy. You went through the story the other day when we were playing, but it's like you did some great solo queue. You broke through your opportunity, got through like a local tournament, worked your way up, got into the LCS,
like the proving
Academy.
Grounds, I think is what they call it, like the proving grounds.
Yeah, proving grounds. You make your way onto an LCS Academy roster. You
hit tab.
You hit tab, and your opponent is Team Liquid Bjergsen. It's so insane. So I'm fully expecting Bjergsen to do what he always does. He's going to be like, 3-0-4 with 600 farm.
Unless he plays Cinder. This is the time he's going to whip out the Zed.
I hope so. I really hope he plays that.
Just let him dumpster.
But that doesn't. He's going because he's who he is. He is going to play who their traditional mid laner would play to make sure that they get the practice for their.
Which is either Corki or Azir or something like that.
Right. So he's going to play Corki. If they ban Corki, he's going to play Syndra or something like that. So, just wanted to bring that up because exciting. And
that's funny. Yeah.
Sticking with Riot products, Mid-Set for TFT is coming out, which we've been playing a lot of TFT. If you follow the channel, the Twitter, I've been releasing a lot of Teamfight Tactics videos recently. Mid-Set's
last
couple
out. Games, the game has been broken, so
I'm glad this is happening.
TFT's has had some bugs.
I think it's 25 days away from Mid-Set.
Okay.
25 days from now.
About 24 days too long. But
well, that's when the pass expires. So I assume that's when Mid-Set happens. After this Mid-Set comes through, only Rammus and Zeri haven't been in TFT. Because Alistar and Corki are being added, and this is the first time they're being brought in. Over 20 champions are getting replaced or removed, including the loss of Academy and Imperial. They will be gone. Imperial's been good now. I like it, but Academy is
all right.
Terrible. They're gonna add in new items. They're gonna add in. There's two.
Silco.
Adding Silco, who's the first ever TFT unique, not in League of Legends champion. They're adding 2 new traits. They're bringing back some fan favorites like Draven.
Hard carry. You can hard carry as Draven.
Yeah. So, and it sounds like a lot of these Nar is coming back. There's a lot of champions that have come back that they will have completely different kits and abilities from their previous TFT sets. I'm excited for it. Well, like you said, the game's been broken, so I think it's a necessary change.
Sure.
It's kind of hit that point where if you don't go 100% meta, you can't place top 4.
Yeah, if you can't get a 5-cost unit, you just lose.
And because of that, you're constantly contested. So whoever gets it, and then it becomes RNG. Whoever gets the highest luck for items and rolls wins.
Because it should be like if I want to build Academy, I should be able to build a competitive team.
Agreed.
With that if I want to. Or if I want to build Imperial, I should be able to build it.
And not automatically lose to a challenger team that's 2 levels behind me.
Swain shouldn't one-shot my whole team somehow.
Especially at level 2.
Caitlyn shouldn't snipe the augment thing and have it disappear.
Yeah. Your entire team shouldn't randomly die because the other team has a Swain. Like, just everybody dies without seeing enough ability.
You were like, what happened?
Yeah.
Where'd my team go?
They just disappeared. Gone. Like my Braum.
Our dog, where's the explanation on that?
We still have it, yeah. He didn't reply.
He's probably grumpy because his game's bugged.
The last 2 things, we have DC News, which is The Batman will be 2 hours and 47 minutes long. My bladder. I released our video petitioning for intermissions to come back. I'm still hoping. But yeah, the only 2 superhero movies longer than that were Endgame and Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Releases. Yeah, theatrical releases. I know Watchmen is definitely longer. Watchmen's like 4 hours. And then there's another one that they didn't say. Batman vs Superman was really long too, I think. But
those movies weren't in theaters?
I don't know how it works because I saw Watchmen in theaters.
Right.
So I don't know.
Maybe Watchmen wasn't considered.
It's really long. That's what we're getting at.
It's really long, like something else, and it's just I don't know. I'm fine with it because that means more time to tell a good story. I'm not fine with it because that means I can't have popcorn or a soda because otherwise I'm gonna have to use the straw for the soda as a catheter. So yeah,
and it's metal too. So that's the metal straws. It's not
as pleasant. So yeah, it's cool that it's a good length movie, but it also sucks. And then the last bit of news, was let the green M&M be a nasty little slut. That is an actual headline from Rolling Stone, because the M&Ms are changing their traditional design and going to a more widely ranging design. Nobody's going to be obviously masculine or feminine. Green M&M has lost her high heels and has changed to sneakers. And everybody's just saying, let green M&M be a nasty little slut.
Yeah, that's what we know her as. That's what we love.
Right, she's always been like the one that yellow and red are.
And you kind of have like
her.
an awkward crush on her when you see her.
Right, like why am I turned on by candy? Like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
Why do I all of a sudden want cream-filled M&Ms?
Exactly. Yeah,
I want to make M&M minis.
Exactly.
and so like, I get it. I get why, marketing, that sort of thing. It helps. Now people are like, I want M&Ms. Old wives' tale, whatever you want to call it. The old theory was green M&Ms made you horny.
They do.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, like, when you're eating M&Ms and you're like, red one, yellow one, no, red one,
green one,
blue one, but then you get a green one and you're like,
and so like,
you know what I mean?
Because that was when my dad was in college. He said that all the guys would give their girlfriends, like, they'd eat all the M&Ms and they'd save all the green ones and give them to their girlfriends because green M&Ms made you horny. And I remember one time, like, I was at home and my dad had all these green M&Ms and gave them to my mom. And I was like, what does that mean? And that's when my dad explained to me green M&Ms make you horny. Yeah. And it's like, part of that is probably because the theory was, green M&M is a nasty little slut. Yeah. And everybody thinks of this nasty little slut when they're eating. And they're like, I want to eat a nasty little slut.
Exactly.
So I'm fine with them changing. I also think you're taking away a lot of the uniqueness. You're making it a lot of uniformity as opposed to, like the yellow M&M was this kind of like a big dope. Yeah. If you could keep them a dope, maybe make them, something stereotypical like a pothead. Like, obviously not all potheads are dopes and whatever, but you can create uniqueness in their own way, still appeal to younger people.
Yeah. But I guess the thing is, if you do something, if you keep it the way it is, you're going to offend somebody. If you change it, you're going to offend somebody. So there's really nothing they can do, and we're not going to get our slutty M&Ms, and that's a shame.
It is a shame. Obviously, I'm still going to eat M&Ms. It's not going to stop me from eating M&Ms.
Yeah, I'm going to eat them the same way. I'm going to save the green ones now.
I'm still going to save the green ones. Yeah. It'll always be slut M&M in our hearts.
Yeah.
We're all sluts in our own hearts. That's all we have for you today. We really hope you enjoyed. It was the Energizer Bunny. Now it's the M&Ms. We branch out. We got some news for you.
The topics people want to hear.
Exactly. Who cares about Marvel and sports? We want slutty M&Ms and Energizer Bunny poop. But yeah, if you like sports, check out our sports section. If you like the video game sections, we stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/Glaziar. We release videos on Twitter. Check that out. Once
the LCS tournament locks in, we're gonna be dissecting TSM's performances once we actually get our team out there,
and that'll most likely be in the sports section
because it is a sport. You can play defense,
esports. So yeah, other than that, you all look great today. See you again next week, and GG.
Woo.